welcome. I've got a real party piece for you today. We're going to show you how to make homemade pasta without a pasta machine. And this is a really delicious, glamorous, all those good things party piece. Let's start by making the pasta. You need 300 grams of flour. I've given you the cup weight in the recipe. And you simply put your flour onto a clean work surface. Make a hollow in the middle of the flour. So into that hollow, you break your eggs. Now what you do is like the proper Italian mamas. You start beating this with a fork. And as you're beating with a fork, you slowly incorporate a little bit of flour. Now once you've got this lot sort of mixed in more or less, then you use your hand. Now all you do is you knead this together. Now the big trick here is to let this stand. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is not to try and roll this dough straight away. You can wrap it in cling film if you want to do it the day before. Don't leave it in the fridge, you can just leave it at room temperature. Or alternatively, just take a bit of the flour and turn your bowl upside down and leave that pasta to rest for at least an hour. Now, this pasta needs to be rolled out. Now you can start rolling it on the work surface. But when your pasta gets to the stage where it is nicely rolled, then it is a good idea to move to a cloth. I'll show you. Flour the rolling pin, flour the table. Now once you've rolled out your pasta, just roll it over the rolling pin, and then we're going to unroll it on a cloth so that we can work on a cloth. To make the spinach filling, what we've done is just to wilt some spinach in a frying pan with a little bit of olive oil, and then we add about 2 teaspoons of the garlic pepper, and we whiz this around to chop the spinach up, and to give that spinach a little bit of moisture so that we can easily spread the filling, we use our mushroom sauce. Just squeeze every last little bit out of the pack. And now the spinach, we've just stripped off some of the white stems, put a couple of leaves together, roll them up, and just cut them roughly. Right, now for the pasta. Get a nice big cloth. Old tablecloth will be perfect. Put some flour on the cloth. Unroll your pasta onto the cloth. Come, sweetheart. Got to roll up nicely, eh? That's it. And the size that we want is the length needs to be about 50 centimeters. Just give it one final roll on the cloth so that it sticks nicely to the cloth. And the width is about between 40 and 45 centimeters. There you are, darling. Look nice. Now we've got the spinach filling, and put the filling down in blobs so you spread it more or less evenly Then we've got some sauteed mushrooms. It was just one punnet of mushrooms sauteed in a bit of butter and then seasoned again with the garlic pepper. And we sprinkle, this is cooled down so I can touch it. So just sprinkle the mushrooms over. And the cherry on the cake is we're going to use some feta cheese here. Now the Danish feta cheese I always think is a little more creamy. So we've just used Danish feta cheese here, crumbled up. Now if you taste this recipe in your head, you can taste that these flavors will work. Eh? And for once the vegetarians are going to be happy. Here we are. Then the reason for the cloth is to help you roll it up. Now just make sure that you have a tight beginning. And then just let the cloth help you to roll it up into a nice little roll. Now you can tie this with string and before you boil it, but honestly it is much safer to do it with some muslin. Now the muslin, muslin you can buy in every little material shop, and it's a useful thing to have in the kitchen. But if you don't have muslin, then you can have use some of those blue easy wipes. So just roll it onto the muslin, and then, come on, don't go into the fold, that won't be a good idea. You'll never get it out. And then just tie it with string on both sides. Now, I thought that it would be interesting for you to know whether you can do this the day before, and you can't, because the filling makes the pastry too soft, makes the pasta too soft. So you've got to make it and cook it, and then you can keep it, and then you can reheat it if you want to. But you definitely cannot leave this to stand with the filling in. Now, what we need now is a saucepan, and we need to salt the water. I'm going to use some of our seasoned salt, about a tablespoonful, and then you place your rotolo, as the Italians say, your pasta roll, into the pot, and then pour a kettle of boiling water, and you keep on adding water to this to keep the pasta filled, and then you boil it. Now I want to show you how to make the most delicious fresh tomato sauce, and we do that by combining freshly grated tomato. To that you add a bottle of our tomato and basil pasta sauce, little bit of green onion seasoning, that should do it. And when you serve this pasta roll, you cut the slices about 1 centimeter thick, and instead of pouring the sauce over and spoiling that lovely spiral pattern that you've got, put your sauce down on the plate, and then the pasta roll gets placed on top of the sauce, and with nice fresh chopped rocket over the top, and some beautiful Parmesan shavings. If you just shave them carefully, they curl quite nicely. You can see fresh tomato sauce as a base, the pasta rolls are arranged on there, fresh rocket over the top, and Parmesan curls. Bon appetit!